Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Master explained the different kinds of samadhi to the devotees. The conversation turned then to the joy and sufferings of life. Why did God create so much of suffering? In between the question, the primer, he explained the different kinds of samadhi to the devotees. This aspect has not been described in the text. What samadhis he explained? Different types of samadhis. Is it just limited to savikalpa and nirvikalpa? There are varieties of samadhis. Samadhi is where we transcend the nature and go beyond. On one side, every human has the three natures, the sattva, raja, tama, and to go beyond the sattva, raja, tama, enter into the realm transcendental. There is another way of going to turn inward, dive within, and go layer by layer crossing within. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. Just like we go into sleep, how I withdraw my consciousness, how the nature makes me withdraw my consciousness, takes me to the deepest level of my being, and I possess three bodies, the stula, sukshma, karana, causal from deep, then the subtle, and then the gross, subtle and causal. Gross body is this Pancha Mahabhuta. Subtle bodies, we can just take it as mind and senses. It consists of Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, Pancha Prana, Buddhi, Manas, 17 parts in subtle body. Causal body is where, when I sleep, enter into deep sleep, all the awarenesses of mind, all knowledge that I have gained in my life, and what I have brought from the previous lives, any memory, all knowledge, my identity, everything goes to seed form and remains when I am asleep in a where it gets deposited. It's called Karana Sharira. Just like in our computer, hardware, software, and then hard disk or memory unit. Same way, we have three bodies. So, transcending these three bodies, we last in everyday sleep, we go to the last point and expand. Our individual consciousness expands in the universal consciousness. This expansion is called nada. Individual consciousness expanding in any consciousness. Now, as the universe dissolves in the absolute existence at the time of pralaya, the universal consciousness merges in the absolute consciousness, again separates and again Srishti Sthiti Pralaya is there. This is also called Nada. The Paranada and Aparanada. Aparanada is manifestation of the universe and going back. And Paranada is from the dissolution of the Shakti. Matter and energy are interconvertible. The whole thing becomes energy. To become energy, the point, last point we go, the bindu, it is called Aparanada. Manifestation from bindu to universe also, Aparanada. And expansion of the consciousness, in consciousness, associates with its universe has become Shakti power, power merges in the Shuddha consciousness, absolute consciousness. That expansion of the universal consciousness in the absolute consciousness, or when we sleep, individual consciousness in the universal consciousness is called Nada. Last point we go is Bindu, expansion is Nada, and the stages by which I go and come back is Kala. Nada Bindu Kalatita is my existence. So when I go within, the first thing from body awareness, I am turning inward. This is how the nature takes me and brings me back to the waking state. Can I go in the same way, turning within, crossing one by one all the layers that nature took me to the core of my existence, made me to be one with the universal consciousness? Can I have the same experience by consciously going inside? Yes, it is called meditation. And as I turn inward and dive within, I see one by one layer I am crossing. The moment I enter inward, I lose the external consciousness, just like I lose external consciousness when I sleep. In meditation also, you will not know this universe. As your meditation deepens, your body awareness also goes off. Sthula Sharira is disappearing in meditation. Then external sounds, that they become feeble and stop. When the external hearing, people are talking by the side, you are not hearing at all. You are in meditation. The inner substance, inner Ishtadevata, or the existence, or the Atman concept is becoming clear and clear, just like daylight. You are seeing the objects. Diviva Chakshuratatam, with eyes open during daytime. If you look at the world, how it looks, so clear will be, but world has disappeared, and then the bodily existence has disappeared. Sounds have disappeared. The external sound, when it stops, you have crossed the Pranamaya Kosha. Then you are crossing entering into the Manomaya Kosha. Manomaya Kosha is mind with sense organs. Jnanendriya and Manas together is Manomaya Kosha. So in Manomaya Kosha, when you enter, you will see an entirely different world. You have become mind. You are so light and expanded like cloud, limitlessly. Crossing this Manomaya Kosha is most difficult task, especially for men. Women, if they transcend the body awareness, they walk forth easily and reach. Men, to cross over mind is extremely difficult. So crossing that mind, the moment we cross the mental barrier and then enter into Vijnanamaya Kosha, we are moving from the Deha Bhava to Jiva Bhava. First time you will see what is light of consciousness. We use the term light, but this is physical light. There is intellectual light. An idea flashed in my mind. When all the light goes away, pitch dark, you will go and take your torch where it is. With what light did you see? It is light of intellect. Similarly, there is light of consciousness, spiritual light, the light of the spirit, Chaitanya. The Chaitanya, light of Chaitanya is spiritual light. This physical light, intellectual light and spiritual light. It is this light of consciousness you are going to see directly for the first time. From there you are introduced what is God. Till then you will not know what is consciousness. We use the term consciousness, but it is not. Even in Western theology and philosophy, as well as in religion, they use the term divinity, spirituality. Their divinity and spirituality is relative term. In Hinduism, divinity and spirituality is not relative term, it's an absolute term. Absolute means there is nothing beyond, there is no duality. Relative has duality, taratama, greater and less, no. There is no division at all. So divinity is where all differences dissolve. Spirituality is where all differences dissolve. No two is seen. Good, bad, right, wrong, here, there. No duality, no relativity. Then we call it divinity, Shuddha Chaitanya, Chaitanya Sagara, and spirituality. Till we understand this, it's very difficult to explain what is consciousness. To some extent, we can imagine in our mind, but intellect, or it is a thing which cannot be discerned by intellect. It cannot be perceived by senses. Senses cannot perceive it. 5 senses we have, none of the mind cannot conceive it. Intellect cannot discern it. It cannot understand what it is. It's beyond mind and speech. Vangmayatita. So there is no way to understand. That's why in Kenopanishad he gives the clear understanding. Nedam yadidam upasate. Whatever you think of as Brahman, as God, is not God. It can never be reached as long as mind is there. If mind is there, if mind can understand, it is not God. It is not consciousness. If intellect can understand, it is not consciousness. If you can explain to someone what is consciousness, then it is not consciousness. Sri Ramakrishna says, everything has become uchishta, only Chaitanya has not, the Brahman has not become uchishta. Nobody has been able to tell what it is. They go to Nirvikalpa Samadhi and come back, they become silent. So this turning inward and crossing the barrier of mind, entering into Vijnanamaya Kosha is called spiritual awakening. First time you move from the Deha Bhava to Jiva Bhava. Now I am this body. When spiritual awakening takes place, the part which has come from the other body, the previous body, and which is ready to go for the next body, that you identify, the Jivatman. I am that. Just like you are identifying with Sthula Sharira and saying I, the I will go away. It becomes a coat for you. You start dwelling within the body, like sitting in a car, independent of the body. You are Jivatman. How you are going inward and identifying it, you see. It's a realization. How all this, since birth I was thinking myself to be body. I am not body. The day when he comes down from samadhi, from meditation, he sees himself sitting in a car, separate from body. Deva Bhava has gone, Jiva Bhava has come. That is the part which separates from the body when you sleep. That is you. That you will understand. There is buddhi, there is jnana, there is no bodily awareness, identity. Bodily identity has gone away. You experience body in Vyuthana, coming back from meditation. You will experience the body, but it is just like you are feeling with your shirt and dhoti. You clearly know, I am not this dhoti, I am not this shirt, I am not this clothes, but you don't know who am I. Similarly, you will know, I am not this body. Just like I am not this clothes, you are very sure. With the same surety, you identify, oh, I am not this body. I am the indwelling spirit. From Deva Bhava, he goes to the Jiva Bhava, which is transmigratory soul. Soul that. Now, this is the first Samadhi Sthiti we experience. Sri Ramakrishna is explaining various Samadhis. First is spiritual awakening. With spiritual awakening, two important things happen. Is identity with body breaks. Brahma Granthi breaks. Brahma Granthi is not between the Sthula Sharira, gross body, and the Chaitanya. Same Chaitanya with Sukshma Sharira, mind and senses, the bond is called Vishnu Granthi. Between the causal body and mind, Karana Sharira and Chaitanya, the bond between the Chaitanya and Karana Sharira, causal body, and the self, the Chaitanya, consciousness, is called Rudra Granthi. Now, with spiritual awakening, Chaitanya Hoa, getting awakened. We are spiritually sleeping and physically we are awake. When spiritual awakening is there, you will immediately know you are not body. In waking state, when you come back, you know I am not this body. How that experience could be imagined? That is the first spiritual experience you get. This is the first samadhi you enter. You will not know who you are, but you are sure that I am not this body. Just like now, you know you are not this cloth. So clearly, you know you are not. You identify immediately with the transmigratory soul. You are in the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Now, we have gone to Vijnanamaya Kosha, where all knowledge is in integrated form. When I see a chair now there, the moment I see a chair, I understand it is a chair, and the jnana of the chair which is there within me comes to my mind. It's projected to the mind. The integrated knowledge becomes differentiated knowledge in the mind whenever thought appears in the mind. Mind with the thought, the jnana within, the knowledge within is manifesting. The collective, it's stored in one place. It's just one, the chair alone, that is chair is there. That knowledge comes. I identify from my inner knowledge. So I am going to enter that. Now, crossing that, I enter into Anandamaya Kosha. From Vijnanamaya Kosha I enter into another samadhi where form is dissolving, Rupa is going away. While in Chaitanya, as Chaitanya, now the moment you cross the mind, you understand your Chaitanic exit. First you see the light of consciousness and you identify yourself. Oh, I am this. Who am I? Who am I? He starts, oh, where have I come? Who am I? Will be the first experience. To know where I have come, it takes many samadhis which take years. By God's grace, or somehow if you enter into samadhi, to enter into it again, second time, it takes a long time. Maybe 10 months, 5 months, 3 months. Next day you cannot go. How I went, you will not know. What happened, you will not know. Suddenly you land one day, every day, with all dedication you are doing meditation. One day suddenly it opens up and you collapse inside. Then you get that one by one experiences. Now when you experience, that is one of the samadhis we are understanding. What is samadhi? Ramakrishna is explaining samadhi. Now this is the first experience of the samadhi. Samadhi is where you are not aware of the world or your bodily existence. When you come down, this sthiti is called vyutthana. From sleep if you wake up, it is called jagrata avastha. From samadhi if you come down to the same waking state, we call it vyutthana. He is in vyutthana sthiti. He is in waking state, jagrata avastha. It is vyutthana avastha, coming down from the... In vyutthana, after coming down from meditation, from the samadhi, he no more identifies with this body. Now when he enters into Vijnanamaya Kosha after a few visits, before he enters Vijnanamaya Kosha itself, after going a few times, he finds a more light, just like we are inside, we are seeing the dull light of the sun. Sunshine is outside, reflected light is coming inside. Suppose you go out and see, then you will get the sunshine. Sun is elsewhere. Sunshine is outside. Still I get the sunlight here. Sunlight, sunshine. Like that, Chaitanya light you see, Chaitanya's shining Chaitanya you will see, little more bright and clear Chaitanya. There, just like moth goes towards a bulb, you start moving. In samadhi, you don't have this sharira. You don't have these gross pranas. Subtle and causal pranas will be there. Prana is there at every level. Prana is energy in a living body, is called prana. Outside we call energy in a living being, because it is governed by consciousness. I lift a thing consciousless. If I am unconscious, I cannot lift. The pranas are not working. In presence of prana, energy controlled by consciousness, Chaitanya is called prana. There, when water is flowing or moon is revolving around the earth, there is no prana there. Because it is not governed by the consciousness. It is material energy. But when you are spiritual awakened, you will see cosmic energy, which is again prana. It is governed by the Ishvara, the cosmic consciousness. Just like your individual consciousness, microcosm, there is macrocosm. Universe, cosmos. Cosmic existence is macrocosm. Your individual existence is microcosm. They are built on the same principle. So just like you have pranas, The Ishvara also has prana. In the Absolute also there is prana. Prana concept, when you are entering into sleep, when you enter into deep sleep, who will bring you back? What energy is going to bring you back? That is causal and post-causal prana's energy. So at every level, gross pranas are there, subtle pranas are there behind mind, causal pranas are there behind your feelings, still beyond when you enter into sleep, waking up, the Chaitanic pranas are there. So this Chaitanic prana alone is not maintained by the food. All other, even mental thinking is possible only if you take food, and food is converted into energy. But this energy is always governed and managed by another energy within. It is called Kundalini Shakti. When a Jivatman comes into the universe, first time, an energy brings that cause infinity into finite, is making infinite into finite. That energy remains in the Jiva. The Brahman has become Jiva. What made the Brahman to appear as Jiva? What Shakti? Remains with that Jiva to take him back to the source again. That Shakti is called Kundalini. It is unending, perennial stream of consciousness, Chaitanya. It is perennial source of energy. It is connected to the Absolute. So there is no dearth. And its ocean is there, and an iota of it is used for whole life. I live whole life with a small drop of energy. And that energy, Kundalini energy, is infinite, eternal. So that Kundalini is going to make me aware of everything, do all activities of life, sleep, wake up, everything, small amount of. So this energy, when we enter into Vijnanamaya Kosha, from crossing the mind barrier, when we go to the deeper layer, which is called Chidakasha, Chaitanic space. This is space of matter, Mahakasha. There is Chitta Akasha, space of mind in which we think and imagine. There is space of consciousness, Chaitanya. Chaitanya Akasha, Chidakasha. Chit means consciousness, Chaitanya. Chaitanya is represented by a term Chitta, Sat Chitta Ananda. This Chit, consciousness, it's space of consciousness. It's space of consciousness where the Absolute manifests there. Just like there is ocean has projected inside land, we call it port or harbor, where vehicles can come and stop. Like that, Absolute is projecting inside my existence. That infinity projecting within me is called Chidakasha, where the Chaitanya, ocean of Chaitanya, the absolute existence, the universal existence, the cosmic existence, the God personal or God impersonal can manifest there. Just like boat from the sea can come and park there, like that, God can manifest there. So where you enter into that Chidakasha to see God, first experience of God that you get is your own Ishtadevata, whom you loved all through life. And these are all samadhis. This vision of God with name and form, with all qualities, Ananta Kalyana Gunasagara, that Saguna Sakara Rupa, when you see, with name and form, with qualities. When you see, it is called Savikalpa Samadhi. So he is explaining so many types of samadhis to the devotees there. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.